Good morning, everybody. It is Friday. I hope Friday the 4th. Yes, Friday. I love Fridays. All right. So December, we are reading any book that you want to read. Catch up, right? Catch up. Close out the year. And so yesterday I went through, I won't say my bookshelf, but I went through 2 shelves of the bookshelf and pulled out all of the books on the shelf that I haven't read, but I bought, sometime this year and wanted to read. And so I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 books on my 2 shelves that I haven't read. Holy crap, I didn't know there was. They have been pulled out. Now, I'm not going to start any new ones. Some of those have been started and haven't finished. Some of them are like near the end and I never finished. So December is all about closing out and wrapping up anything that we can, right? Getting ready to make space for the new, right? All right. Michelle, what are you? I'm curious. I just asked you this a minute ago, but are you reading any other book besides finishing up this, The Prayer That Changes Everything, or anything, whatever it changes?
I have a couple chapters to go back to in this book and finish. So I'm going to do that first. And then, I honestly haven't gone back to my bookshelf yet. I should do that today and look at a couple. I know that there's some that I didn't finish from earlier this year too. So I have some that I need to go through.
I did find something yesterday. So I know we've talked a couple times about when we started this prayer call or, things like that. And obviously I can't remember the exact date, but I found the journal that I had started when we first started the call, because it was keeping up with prayer requests. And that was before we were picking out specific books to read. And so it was April 21st. I don't know if that was the first day we started prayer call, but it was the first day that I wrote in the book. I knew it was around April sometime. So I don't know how many months that is. Probably like we're coming up on 8 months, right? 8 months of prayer calls.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And looking at, thinking about all that has changed over the 8 months. And, I remember at the very beginning, doing a lot of praying for, my relationship and Brad and the anxiety that he struggles with all of the time. I'm looking for something specific in here. And I remember even back then making progress. And we talked about that, on each of the calls. It's like, holy crap, it's been 3 weeks since he's had an anxiety attack, or 6 weeks, or this and that. And looking back now, I think, wow, he goes, sometimes he goes 6 weeks, a month without an anxiety attack compared to, every week or 3 or 4 times a week like it was back then. And it reminds me of that book, The Compound Effect, that you just keep going and you go and you go and you go, as long as you stay focused on your path, right? Because one little thing can take you off of your path, that every decision has a compounded effect, right? And even if it's a minor diversion, it's like weight loss. It's like, okay, let's say I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to eat healthy and this and that, and then go to a party and have a piece of birthday cake. Is there anything wrong with having a piece of birthday cake? No, but it is a minor diversion. And if you don't get back on your path, that diversion is going to become a whole other journey. And I know sometimes we talk a lot about prayer calls, like, oh, I'm so busy and I don't want to do this today and I'm tired and the blah, blah, blah. It always gets in the way. It's like, nope, because we need it. One little diversion can cause a whole other journey in your life. And sometimes you don't realize it, or we don't realize it until years down the road, or we wake up and it's like, gosh, how did I get here? Right? So I'm super thankful that we still meet and that you're here with me, Michelle.
Me too. I love it.
But right in that month of April, so before the month of April, I had written something in here and it says, can well, can you wear it with a badge of courage, right? It referring to wounds and scars and the trauma or the things that we have in our life. I think sometimes it's so easy to turn the other cheek and think about, I just want to get rid of this. I don't want to think about it anymore. Whether I've forgiven somebody or they've forgiven me, or it's over and the pain is just done. It's just beyond me. It's in the past. But you know what? We don't need to do that with everything. Sometimes it's all the things in our lives that bring us right where we are today. And if I don't like where I am today, it may be because I had a diversion, right? And I had a diversion because maybe I didn't know the path that I wanted to be on at that time, or wasn't aware. Right? So it's all these compounded effects. And that brings me to, wearing your journey, the badge of courage. It's almost like a map. I've been here, I've been there. But where do you want to go from here? Right? Instead of letting the day control us, where do we want to go? Right? So let's skip ahead 8 months. If we think about 8 months from now, we're looking at, was it July, maybe? Or my birthday, right? 8 months from now will be August 3rd. That's my birthday. There we go, right? Even though it's the 4th. So we're going to go with that, right? That'll be a good reminder. August 3rd, 8 months from now is I'm going to write this down. What do we want to be different 8 months from now? Right? If you, and granted, your journeys are never set in stone, right? And it doesn't even have to be different. It's just, where do you want to be? Where do we want to be 8 months from now? So 8 months from now, I still want to be meeting for prayer call. I don't care about the time. I just want to be meeting for prayer call, right? How about you, Michelle? Give me one. Where do you want to be for 8 months? What do you want in your life 8 months from now?
Ooh, it's a good reflection, Linda.
It's almost like stuffing a time capsule. Did you ever do that when you were a kid in school?
Yeah.
Because I'm writing this down, and 8 months from now, we're going to open it back up.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing and crazy. Ooh. Hmm. Okay, I have a couple things coming to mind. 8 months from now, I want to be planning my wedding.
Very good.
And have another women's retreat under our belts. Or at least the planning of it.
Mm-hmm. I want to, and 8 months from now, our journeys aren't always about accomplishing specific things, but it's certainly good to look at, I don't want to be off of the journey, right? And have a diversion there. But as we all know, I've talked about this a million times, I want to publish a book. But you know what? Even before that, I want to finish. And I ran into the same problem when I was writing my dissertation, and I can write anything. My writing is so awesome. And, I wrote a 300 plus page dissertation with not one edit from my advisors, right? Or the person that you pay $900,000 to review it, right? So I think that says a freaking lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I start writing and I write and write, and then I get bored. It's not that I get bored. It's like my mind is always going. I can write a book on any topic at all because there's so much stuff in my head. And then I move on to the next one and the next one. So as many books as I have unfinished read, over here that somebody else published, I have as many started. So I want to finish. I want to finish something. Finish a writing.
I like that, Linda.
Something I do already all the time. But all right.
I want to continue my meditation journey.
Yeah, I don't ever want to give that up. You know what? And I want to bring meditation and breath work into more people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
It is so, it's such a powerful feeling. This week, I had sent a breathwork strategy video to two people who were struggling with different things, but I picked out their breathwork, specifically for what they were struggling with. And immediately, that same day, both of them, which is odd because usually it's like, oh, here, go try this. And people are like, yeah, I'll get around to it, right? And they both tried it, and both of them came back, and it was so funny because I was like, oh wait, whose message am I reading now, right? Because both of their messages were so similar, and they don't know each other, and they were both like, wow, I love this. And man, isn't that what you want to hear when you do something for somebody?
Yeah, that's really incredible. I used my breath work and meditation yesterday because I don't really know. I haven't sat down to reflect more on it, or if I need to, but of what brought it on. But I was like cleaning and doing stuff throughout the day, and then yesterday evening I just started feeling really anxious and like short of breath all of a sudden, and so I was like, whoa, like what do I do with this? And I went, and Sean was working in his office, and I sat on the little day bed in his office, and I was just sitting there. And then I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to breathe. And so I told Sean, I was like, I'm going to breathe outside. Come check on me in about 10 minutes. And he was like, okay. I was okay. And so I just went out there and laid in one of our like lounge chairs and breathed. And he came and checked on me. And then I was fine.
That is awesome. It's like, I think about that. How many times have people ever said that? I'm going to go do some breathing. Come check on me, right? It'd be like, no, if I stop breathing, come check on me, right? No. If I breathe, come check on me, right? That's so cool. And how did you feel afterwards?
I felt really good, and in just like calmness wise, and able to bring those anxious feelings under control. But also it was just really empowering because I was able to work through that moment and like feel it, but breathe through it. And it was cool. I was thinking about it afterward. It was a very different way of handling that feeling than I have done in the past. And that was cool too, because I would go in and like, I don't know, just start crying or like word vomit at Sean, and he's like trying to work, and I'm like, a mess. But I was able to work through that feeling on my own, but let him know what I was going to do. And he was there like supporting me to check on me and stuff. So it was, just like the whole mixture of it.
That brings to mind, it's like I think it's common for us to ask people to check on us. It's like, hey, I'm really struggling. Can you just check in on me? If you don't hear from me, things like that, but how often do we ask God to check in on us?
Ooh, that's a good point, Linda.
I don't think I ever have, but we often ask him to show us, to show us things. And I know that I've been struggling, and it feels like the struggle is increasing lately, and I just feel so behind and chaotic and cluttered and just a mess with my hand. And the longer it goes on, the more I feel things get backed up and, all this stuff. And so that's why I started cleaning yesterday and going through the bookshelves. And I was like, I have to make space. And that's what it needs. I feel like I have no space in my life, in my head, anywhere. I have to make space. And I mean, as I started cleaning, I came up on that book. I took a picture and put it on Facebook yesterday. It's like 31 days to clutter free or something. I was like, seriously? But just before, I'm talking 5 minutes, 5 minutes before that, I was sitting outside. I finished reading our prayer book from, November. And I just prayed to God. I was like, God, just show me. I know that I'm going through this turmoil for something, and maybe the answer is not going to be clear right now. Maybe the result or the reason that I'm going through this right now will not come about even from years from now. But what am I supposed to be doing right now? What will help me the most? And as I closed the book, I sat there and I was like, I just had this urge. I'm just going to get up and go clean the bookshelf. I don't know why. And then that book jumped out at me.
That is awesome.
God to check in on me, God, right? Check in on me.
I like that. Very simple.
Some cookies while you're at it. Why not? He brings me everything else, right? I pray for flower pots, I get flower pots. I pray for a cool plant, I get a cool plant. All right. I pray for clutter free and I get a book. So why not? Why not? All right. Very good. Okay. So I've got this down and we're going to come back to it. If I remember, this is like our time capsule.
I'm excited.
And this isn't something that we're just going to keep checking on to say, oh, how are you doing with this? How are you doing with that? No, this is just maybe an experiment to see what our diversions are like, and what's going to be like come August 3rd, right? My 52nd birthday. We're planning now. All right. How about we say a little prayer? Wherever you went. Right.
I'm making a note to myself. All right.
I'm cheating. Alrighty. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for allowing me to wake up and to start and enjoy and just have a glorious day. Thank you for turning this day around for me. And you know what? Thank you for smacking me in the face and showing me what I need to see so I know what to do. It's just awesome, right? So thank you, Michelle, for joining me. And you know what? Today, I just want to pray that for anybody who is struggling, is just help them to reach out, even if it's just to reach out to you or, to reach out to nature, just to reach out beyond themselves, right? All right. That's it. That's all I got for today, Michelle.
Good morning, Lord. I want to thank you, as always, of giving us another day that we get to be alive and breathing and joining together in community with you. Linda is such a blessing in my life, and so I thank you for her and just these daily life-changing conversations. And it can be the simplest topic that expands into so much reflection and just thought of the work that you are doing in our lives, which is incredible. I need to spend time, and thank you for reminding me today of this, to reflect a little bit more and look forward to what I'd like to see in my life, but more so asking you what you want to see in my life, Lord. I want to have more of that vision, but I know that it's in your timing and you shed the light for each step that we need to be on for what we need in that season. So I look to you for that for these next months to come. But I'm excited, as Linda mentioned, to wrap up books and finish different projects that we have going on, that we can actually finish these things and these tasks and these times of reflection in these books before we jump so quickly to the next thing. Allow us to find peace and patience in those moments, because there is something little to learn from all of these books. And even just reading the last chapter of the book I'm on right now, uh, it reminded me of that, because there's so many little gems and nuggets that I wanted to learn, and was so excited that you brought forth to me in this last chapter. So remind me that there are those little gems and nuggets all throughout our lives, in the projects and the books and the conversations that we complete. We lay this all in at your feet in your name, Lord. Amen.
Amen. That was beautiful. All right. Join us tomorrow, somewhere around 9 a.m. Eastern, and we will be here.